Hey everybody, Roger here. Today I wanted to talk about mindset. I get a lot of questions asking me, Roger, you went through anxiety and depression, you healed yourself, and you were able to strengthen your mindset, but how? How did you do it? And that is something that was very, very difficult. And if you came here to find a solution, then you come to the right place. But I just have to tell you that it is going to take many steps, right? It's not something that you're going to be able to, after watching this video, you're going to be like, tomorrow, I'm going to try today, and then tomorrow, everything's going to be different. It's not going to be like that. But the reason why I'm going to explain to you today how I changed my mindset when I was going through anxiety and depression, because it is one of the hardest things you will ever have to challenge yourself with. Because, the first thing what I had to do, I had to figure out where to start, right? Because when you have anxiety and depression, your mind is somewhere else, all right? It's going to get to a point where you're going to be like, that's not even me talking to myself. It sounds or feels like it's somebody else talking to you, right? And then all of a sudden, as you get further and further into your anxiety and depression, or, even if you're going through a very dark chapter, your mind is not thinking properly. It's thinking in ways that you don't want it to think, right? Because it's just like this engine that's running, but it's not working well, right? So, and I look at it as, it's like this one song that you're playing in your mind over and over and over again, right? And it's repeating itself every single day, right? And that's when I discovered that, before I started healing myself, that I was listening to the same voices every single day, and it was telling me the same thing every single day. It was telling me that, your life is horrible. No one loves you. You're never going to heal. You're always going to be sad. And I started to believe in that, right? I started to believe in it more and more each day, and it started to become my reality, right? So that's where I had to start. I had to tap into my mind, right? Figure out what are the things that I'm thinking about every single day that's making me feel this way, right? That's the number one thing, is to figure out what those things are that you're telling yourself that's making you feel the way you're feeling right now, right? And that's all about listening to that inner voice, right? If you've been following me for a while, I talk about that inner voice, right? Which voice are you listening to? Are you listening to that voice that's telling you all these bad things? Or are you listening to that voice that's pushing you, telling you that you're going to be strong, to move forward, and that everything's going to be okay, you're going to be happy? Is that the voice you're listening to, right? So if you are listening to that voice that's telling you all these bad things, that's creating this, this future that you don't even want to, go towards, and you're scared, right? Then that's when you have to start to strengthen your mindset, is by focusing first. Because your mind right now, even though you may not think about it, is just filled with negative thoughts, first of all, and it's clouded. Like, it's just like you're walking to this maze, and that's what your mind looks like, right? It's this maze, right? And all you want to do is try to get through this maze, right? So that you can finally exit, so you can be free, right? And the way you have to start doing that is you have to learn how to focus. If you watch my Anxiety and Depression at the End series here on YouTube, then you'll know that I talk about focus a lot, right? So focusing is, you are probably focusing, but you're focusing on the wrong things, okay? You're focusing on the thoughts that aren't going to help you get better, right? So you need to turn that around, and you just have to start focusing on one particular thing, right? It's not, multitasking in your mind and thinking about a whole bunch of different things, because that just creates chaos, right? So you have to single out something, and you have to target it. Like, for example, if you listen to me talk about my basement story, I woke up every single morning. This is when my life started to change. I wanted to challenge myself, right? So I went downstairs to the basement, and I said, I'm going to spend 10 to 12 hours per day, right? And I'm going to clean this basement up. And I don't know how long it's going to take me, right? But as long as I'm waking up and I feel like I have something to do, I was able to focus on just cleaning that basement, and it didn't allow those negative thoughts to attack me, right? So that's when I realized how important focusing is, right? Even if you're doing, things around the house, or if you're taking a walk, you try not to let those thoughts that are attacking you every single day to disturb you anymore, all right? You have to tell yourself that, there's one place I want to be, or get to, I want to be happy again. You know, I want to heal myself from this. If you do have anxiety, depression, I want to heal myself, right? So then you start to focus on the things that are going to make that difference for you, right? That's when you start shifting into listening to that small little voice that's telling you to stay strong, right? But when you start to learn how to focus, when you start to understand what I mean by that, then that's when you are going to tell yourself that there's something way more important out there, that there's this better version of yourself, right? This is when the better version, me thinking about, you know, the better version of me, that every single day I can work on myself and I can get better, instead of waking up every single morning, I'm going to get worse, right? There's a huge difference between, you know, those two thoughts, right? So I decided to choose to go with, you know, the thoughts that were telling me that, you know, Roger, there's a way better version of you in the future, right? Maybe you know, I was chasing the version I was, you know, before I had my anxiety and depression, which was, you know, I'm sure a lot of people want to do, is because, you know, we just want to go back and get our lives back, right? But you have to remember that that was the old version of yourself, okay? But there is always a better you in the future, right? But it all depends on what you're going to do every single day to make that happen for yourself, right? So, you know, once you start to learn how to focus, that's going to lead to you wanting to strengthen your mindset, wanting to become a better you, you know, learning. And then the next step that I talk about after focusing is loving yourself, because loving yourself will change everything, right? Once your mind is clear, you're going to have the ability to start doing all the things that are going to bring you that joy and happiness, because your mind is not focused on those negative thoughts as much, because you're so focused. You're so focused of wanting to become a better you, right? Now, this is when your mindset starts to change, right? Because when your mind is clear, you can start seeing that there is a possibility that out there in the future, you're going to be able to get better, that things are going to get brighter, and you know, that that you're going to be able to smile again and be happy, and all those good things that you thought that you can never reach, right? Especially when your mindset is you know, thinking negatively all day, it almost seems impossible. Trust me, I know what it feels like to be that, you know, in a position where I just want to give up, because I didn't believe that, you know, there were going to be brighter days, and that I was always going to be taking, you know, my medication. I was going to take it for the rest of my life, right? But I changed all of that because I changed my mindset. I started to tell myself, Roger, what is important to you? What do you want in your future? What is that destination that you want to go to so bad, and how badly do you want it? How badly do you want it, right? And then when you start to have focus, when you start to love yourself, when you start having goals for yourself, you know, all these doors start to open, right? You're going to be able to see, like, you know, that maze that you're in. You're going to see that instead of having like 6 different paths that you can choose from, it starts to dwindle down to like 5, and then 4, and then 3, and then all of a sudden it becomes one path that you can just walk straight. Because that's when, you know, that strong mindset, when you start to see those changes happen in your life, you're going to start seeing that, you know, that place that you see yourself being happy again is right there in front of you. It's right there, and you're going to get so much closer, right? Once you start thinking about the thoughts that have been hidden away, pushed aside from your negative thoughts, right? So remember, it's like, you know, I wish I can explain it so that in this video, so that tomorrow you can make changes. Like, tomorrow will be a completely different day, right? But, you know, I had to go through like a really tough journey to figure out what are those steps and in what order they had to be, you know, which one had to be the first one and which one had to be the second one to be done, right? In order for me to get to the level where I am now, where I can say that I am anxiety and depression free and that I have healed myself, right? So changing your mindset is not an easy thing, okay? Because it all depends on what are you going to do on a daily basis that are going to make those changes for yourself, right? Some people, it may take less than a month to do. Some people might take half a year. Some people might take a year. But it all depends on what is going on up here. How badly do you want to heal yourself from anxiety, depression, or to find, to find those happy days again, those brighter days. How badly do you want it, right? It's all about how determined are you, and what are you going to do every single day while you're awake to make this happen for yourself, right? Change your mindset, again, is not an easy thing to do, but if you are able to spend each day focusing on the things that are going to make a better, like a difference in your life in a positive way, which means, like doing more things that allow you to feel that, life is a beautiful thing, and that your life isn't so horrible, right? When you start to change your perspective on about yourself and your life, everything changes, right? So you have to start being more grateful about the things, be grateful for today, first of all, because you're alive, and be grateful for everything that you have already, right? And then appreciate your life, right? Because you get a chance to live it and experience what the world has to offer. Be thankful for, the family and your friends and all those people that surround you, that care and love for you. You have to be grateful for that as well. Like the small things, the little things that we tend to just forget about because they're so busy thinking about other things. Those things are going to matter, right? When you start to think about everything as a whole, right? It's so that you can start creating that, that positivity in your life to remind yourself that, your life isn't that bad, and it's going to get better once you start taking care of yourself, once you start strengthening your mindset, once you start to make changes in your life, right? It's about taking that step, right? Are you willing to take that step? The hardest thing is to tell yourself, yeah, well, I am taking those steps and it just doesn't feel like I'm getting anywhere. And that's where most of us tend to feel like we just don't want to keep going anymore because we don't see any change, right? But once you start to see those changes, right? When you start doing the things I've been talking about within this video about focus, loving yourself, and determination, those three things, once you get that into your life, everything's going to change. Your mindset's going to change. You're going to feel so different about yourself. Like it's almost like a new version of it, like you were reborn, right? So hopefully this video helps. Remember, the mindset is going to be hard to switch, especially if you're thinking negatively all day, but it can happen. It definitely can happen, but it all depends on what you're going to do every single day to make that happen, okay? So hopefully this video helps, and I will catch you next video, so take care, bye-bye.
Are you tired of those negative thoughts? Let's get rid of them.
I say yes to life. I have faith in myself. I create my life.
I am a creative person. I have unlimited energy. I feel good. Nourish your subconscious with positivity. Just listen to Inner Tune and start changing your life, one thought at a time.